Hi guys. Hello. This is our podcast Relaunch, and this is episode 29.
Oh, you remember the number of episodes?
No, I looked on YouTube because
Good for you.
yeah, because it's been a year and a half since the last episode, which was about yoke sweaters, and I was really pleased to see that there's so many views. And I looked at the number of episodes, so we can continue, and it's 29, episode 29. It's now March of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
And we are the Tri-Cities podcast.
Netlib.
And Jenny, we're known as
Red Hat Nata.
and Sweater Freak on Instagram and Ravelry, and we live in Metro Vancouver in British Columbia, Canada. So Tri-Cities refers to just the local area, the three little suburbs that
municipalities.
Yeah.
It's actually,
Yeah.
I was talking to my husband, and we had in, back to our country, we have rayone.
Yes, yeah.
And the municipality is like rayone.
You think so?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes. So the center part, it's a
I guess
Vancouver,
so, yeah.
and all the other municipalities.
I guess it could be related like that, yeah, because like in the US, they have like little cities within big cities. Like Sacramento has like little cities within, and the address will actually say Sacramento, but it'll be like part of some other
region
region, right? Yeah. So anyways, but that's why, that's the name we went with. We started our podcast in 2016, and that's the name we chose to kind of, to be local. And we talked about maybe changing the name now, but we're just gonna stick with it because we've got a.
We live in here, and we need in here. Doesn't matter if.
Yeah.
It just reflects our
local location, local location. Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, we just right now it's a lot of events have been canceled, and specifically this weekend we were supposed to have Fibers West, which got canceled, and just a lot of events. Even in Seattle, the Vogue Knitting Live got canceled. We just thought, people are spending more time at home, and maybe they want someone to.
Lucky us, we have a hobby, so we can.
Yes, I know, and I know a lot of people have been kind of saying, like we've got our knitting, we always have our knitting, so just stay home and knit and watch us podcast. So I think it's a great time to relaunch the podcast,
yes.
Because this is the time where everyone's home and they're looking for something to watch. So a lot has happened in the last year and a half. In our knitting life and just trends wise, it's been, I think, a lot of changes in the knitting world. I wrote down briefly what to talk about, and we're gonna keep it down to 35 minutes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you want to start
about
animal prints?
Yes. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's do animal prints first so that you guys can... what do you think about animal prints?
Me, personally?
Yeah, you personally.
I said I not really like it, but because it's trendy and you usually go with the trend, you're trying to be trendy.
Yeah, that's true.
I start making animal prints myself, but it's not the favorite thing.
Well, I mean, you wore a leopard print dress to work the other day. So.
You said it was.
It looked nice. No, it looked nice. I liked it.
To dare.
Well, I don't know how many of you have watched us before, but we actually also have a full-time job that's not related to knitting.
Yeah, and we work in the same office.
That's how we met. We work in the same office. We are software developers. And software developers generally do not wear leopard print sweaters to work. First of all, most software developers are men. And
they wear beard and glasses and overstretched t-shirt.
Yeah, so I mean, I know there's, I'm talking like in general, there's always, exceptions, but we're not really a fashion-driven industry, and yeah, I mean, that's what I meant. But I like it. I think if you worked in a place where, you know, being fashionable was more of a thing to do, I think you could wear that more often. But I mean, I didn't notice anyone looking at you sideways or anything like that. Like, I think it's fine.
I remember when I just started work in our office, I tried to
Dress nicely?
nicely, and I remember we have a problem with one of our co-workers. She's a woman, and Leon actually mentioned this, and he said, "Stop dressing like this."
Well, I don't think you should take him seriously. You should. Everything he says, you should just divide by 100.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I just
slowly. I see our other
lazy.
departments, they dress way nicer than us. So, but yeah, look, we don't see customers, so
yeah, they actually
they do. They dress they dress way nicer, and there's, I think, more opportunity for them to kind of dress nicer than for us. You just sit at your desk and it doesn't matter what you wear. But so I think that I took about 20-year break. Wearing leopard prints, is I have a really funny story in about late 90s where leopard print was still in, and I was I don't want to say how old I am, but I was in my 20s. Early 20s.
It can be 20.
Early 20s. And I used to dress a little bit scantily, you know, and I had this mini skirt and a tank top, which were leopard prints. They were different print, and I wore them together to a club, and I had this boyfriend who basically told me it was tacky. So when he said that word, I threw it all away. Like, for me, that word was basically like, okay, you know what? Someone thinks that something's tacky. I'm not gonna wear that. Like, and my husband now, which is a different guy, he also doesn't like leopard print. So I think that Canadian men, this is the conclusion I made about Canadian men not liking leopard print. But I could be wrong. There could be a Canadian guy somewhere out there liking leopard print. That's just anyways, yeah. So, this fall, I went to the mall. I'm not trying to rhyme. And I came to work and I said to her, I'm like, there's leopard print is everywhere. It's everywhere. And suddenly I wanted a hat. I wanted it so badly that I went online and I bought Cascade 220 and I made it the same week.
Where is it?
It's right here. This is my original cat love sample. It's made with one skein of camel and one skein of black.
Full skein?
No, I have some leftovers, but
okay.
I have a problem with yarn quantities because my scale is a little strange. It's not balanced. Like I have to weigh 3 times and then average it out.
I have very good scale at work. Victor gave me.
Oh, at work?
Yes, the small one. Yeah,
Oh.
he gave me if I need just a weight yarn at work. So I have in my drawer the small one, and
well, mine is small, but it's just the plate is really big, and it's
good. It's very accurate.
I think I used about 75 grams or maybe 65 grams and just a little bit of black. It says on the pattern, but I had leftovers. So I made this hat, and I asked people on my Instagram if they like leopard print, and they said no. And I was like, well, it doesn't matter because I want a hat and I'm gonna make it. So I made it. And
they said no.
They said no. They said no. No. But
so most of people.
No, they said no.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
In fact, it was an overwhelming no.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah. So and then I made this hat, and it's been a really great response. I did not expect such a good response. I know that Clinton Hill Cashmere really liked it, and she made her own version, and then it exploded and went into Kristy Glass has a video about it, which I will link into, and Skein Cocaine posted a video the other day that I will give a link as well. So I think that it does have a certain appeal because it's a classic pattern. It's it's something that I think a lot of people just like all the time, and it looks store-bought. I think that is something that I think people like. Is it something that you could buy in the store, but
it's some people like store-bought, some people like
handmade.
If it's obvious that it's somebody
made that,
by,
and I see stuff that's handmade in the public transit all the time. So I've really been surprised by the response, to be honest, because I did not expect such a response. So I'm glad I made that. I'm glad I went and did that anyway.
Good for you.
Yeah. So and then I saw other prints too, like Python print. You gotta show your stuff.
Okay, so I saw Jenny's success, but first I made another.
You made that before that, I think. This Python thing.
No.
That's not a. Oh, okay.
This is. You can see now. I use a plucky knitter yarn.
It's variegated, right?
And the green spots are. I use the variegated in yarn, and for the base I use just the basic gray. I like this hat, and I like this print more than leopard.
It's more subtle. I think it's more subtle.
And I heard actually, so I start following some fashion influencer on Instagram, and last summer actually was popular, not the leopard print. Leopard print was winter, last winter and last spring, and then it goes to the snake print. So the Python print was everywhere. Boots, t-shirt, dresses, like you can, you name it, it's everywhere. So I thought maybe this snaky print would be same success as leopard, but
I think maybe another color would be.
But the Python is not too bright. It's usually green. It's actually bright for the Python.
Really?
It's mostly gray.
That's what I mean. Maybe with a more natural colors.
But they do have a green.
They do have green?
Yes,
really?
Yes. It's a different from different
areas. It's a very
areas.
subtle print. I think it's a great print for someone who doesn't want to be. See, leopard print is
stand out.
It stands out. Like I've seen this hat has about just over 140 projects now. So I've seen people do all kinds of things, and I'm a very conservative person in terms of my color choices. So I just went with with the classic colors, and I made a sweater, and I made a cowl, which I will show. But it's a very in-your-face pattern, and a lot of people don't like being in your face. So I think that this one is more subtle. It's more, it's not as leopard just has this kind of.
If you want to stay on the safe side, you wear this. If you want to be stand out, you wear this.
Well, this is also a snake print.
Yes. And I start looking what snake was used to.
This is also Cascade 220 Sport.
Yes,
it's a sport version.
I like it. It's soft.
With this specific yarn, I love this yarn, and I have lots of different colors. We're going to talk about stash acquisition changes later in the episode. But I've got a lot of that yarn. I love this yarn. I love working with it, and I think it's a great cost-effective substitute for other yarns. It does not wear as well, though.
I don't know.
But if you're using a thinner needle and shave it once in a while, I think it would be good. I still have some stuff with it that I wear. It's just soft. Like you can't have in life. You can't have things both ways.
Soft and not pink.
It's pick one. There's always a compromise. So.
Anyway, this is my newest release and it still have a 20% off with code GOLD until end of Sunday.
When I look at these, to be honest, this screams more snake to me than this. This is more ambiguous. This says, okay, that's a snake.
Okay.
Yeah. I was born in the year of a snake, so I like snakes.
Anyway, but I do have some very success, I would say, animal print.
Yes, it's a dragon.
Not dragon, it's a dinosaurs. It's a T-Rex.
Well, whatever. It's all the same. Like, dragons don't exist, right? So
yeah.
This is sort of like the...
So this pattern was really, and this hat specifically was really, really huge success. And what I noticed recently for the kids print, this one most popular print ever.
Yeah, I can see that.
Now these dinosaurs everywhere.
Yeah.
They put it on any kids' clothes. It can be jacket, it can be onesies.
Onesies?
Yes.
Wow.
So this one is a really good, and dinosaur has to be aggressive dinosaur, not those dinosaurs who eat grass. No, the T-Rex. This
I don't know anything about dinosaurs. That whole thing just went right over my head.
You didn't know what
I'm not interested in dinosaurs.
Jurassic Park?
No, never watched Jurassic Park.
It's my favorite movie.
I don't like Jeff Goldblum. Was he in that movie? I'm pretty sure he was. Yeah, I just don't
in
like
the
him.
third
There's
one,
there's something about him I don't like.
I like him.
A lot of women like him. Do you guys like Jeff Goldblum? I don't.
He's so tall.
I don't know.
Nice tall guy.
I'm more of a Clint Eastwood fan, to be honest. Yeah.
So anyway, this dinosaur thing is super popular.
Yes, that's true.
And I made a sweater, so both patterns now alive, and I made a sweater for kids, and there is gonna be the adult version, because when I release my kids sweater, some people ask me if it's gonna be the adult version. Yes, and it's gonna be the adult version. I'm testing the adult version now, so I think I would release it during fall.
Yeah, right now it's just kind of, it's probably better to wait till August or September or something, when people are preparing to knit, thicker. What yarn did you use for this?
This is Wild in the Woods, our local.
Yes. So I'm gonna link. I'm gonna link all the links to the yarn we used, as we normally do. And Wild in the Woods is Serena. She's living on the island, on Vancouver Island. She has a homestead, and she has a really nice Instagram feed with her garden and her canning and pie making, and it's a really homey kind of feel, and she's a really nice person. I've had lots of great interactions with her, and her yarn is natural yarn that she has different kinds of dyes. She dyes a plant dyes, and she sets it with seawater, so not with that's why it's called sea folk. And then she just started dyeing with acid dyes as well. I'll link to her shop, and I have her yarn, and it is going to get made into a project. I'm just really slow. So,
I have two things from her yarn. I have a sweater, which I released last winter. I forgot what is the name of my...
There's so many sweaters.
Anyway, it's the same, like calm colors. And this year I made this hat. Actually, it's not this year, it's the end of the last year, just before the Christmas. Yeah,
the sweater?
I released, no,
the hat. Oh yeah, the hat's been out for a while. It's just like you guys, because we've been out for so long that I can't bring all the projects we made in a year and a half. It's just not. You could go. I'll link to our Ravelry pages, and you can just go and look, at our patterns.
It goes dancing dinosaurs.
Dancing dinosaurs. Yeah.
No, dancing T-Rex.
Dancing T-Rex.
Yeah, more specific.
No, I know this is and I'm seeing on my Instagram feed. I've seen this hat a lot.
Yeah, it was like crazy.
I think that's this I had a thought of making like a cat with cat faces sweater, but then I make things to wear and I just cannot imagine myself wearing a sweater with cat faces.
Look, it looks it's an adult head, not a kid's head. I have all sizes from, so it looks normal. It doesn't look,
I think in a hat you have more chance to play with things. A sweater is a little bit more commitment. And I'm gonna show you, I'm wearing my sweater that's called, what did I call this sweater?
Roar.
Roar, yeah, I called it Roar. And it's using the same print as the hat, well, modified for the yoke. Obviously, you can tell it's not quite the same print. And then I also made a cowl, which is called Pardus. It's a double knit cowl from, you know, with just a little bit of the print. So if you're feeling, you know, timid, you can just wear it like that. But if you want to, you know, be a little bit more daring, you could turn it this way.
Oh, I didn't think. Yeah, you can wear it together to have like a.
Yeah, I don't wear it together, but yeah, you could.
No,
it's too much animal print for me. And the hat.
Everybody thinks it's a part of the sweater.
And this is the hat, and I actually added another size because a lot of people were complaining to me. I have a small head, and everything I make is small. So a lot of people, I looked through the project in Ravelry, a lot of people were saying that this is a small hat, and I added another pattern. And actually, a few people emailed me, and they wanted larger instructions, and I just said, you know what, because so many people emailed me, I'll just add it to the pattern, and so everyone has it. And in general, another thing I bought, and my sister bought that, and my mom bought that. This is from Aritzia. This is a shawl blanket with leopard print. Okay, so I think I'm a little bit overdoing it for the last 20 years. But it's huge. It's huge. It's 60 inches by 60 inches. So at work, I wrap myself in it. I think our coworkers think you and I are a little too
crazy,
leopard print crazy, but they don't knit or watch our podcast, so it doesn't.
Oh,
matter.
I just have this dress which I wear only one time.
Yeah, I'm just joking. I don't think they pay attention to what you wear.
Yeah,
and this is for kids, and this is good. You want to talk about what are you knitting this from?
It's Brooklyn Tweed Loft.
This is Brooklyn Tweed Loft?
Yes, it's a Brooklyn Tweed Loft.
And this too?
Yes,
this is a nice color.
Both of them, and I am
nice.
making lighter version than you.
Well, the print is a little different. Yeah, I would say this is more of a cheetah. You can tell the difference by put two and two together.
Yeah,
it's a different print.
Leopard has this
inside
lighter color, but cheetah has
this is a nice
smaller
color.
Yeah, I know. So,
are you gonna have the ears?
I don't know. We'll see. I'm thinking adding small ears because I like look of the small ears on the kids' heads. And yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. But yeah,
it's nice. It just feels rougher than Brooklyn, or maybe because you haven't blocked it yet.
Yeah, after washing your hair, it's softened.
No, I know. I just sold a bunch of Brooklyn Tweed because I already have a sweater of that color. I sold it to my local tester, Daphne. And, you know, Snowbound, which I already have a sweater of. And me and her talked about, hi Daphne, if you're watching. Me and her talked about Brooklyn Tweed. And that's one of the things is it does offer a tweedy look with, you know, soft yarn, because a local audience, local knitters, by local I mean North American knitters, do not like wool. I want to show you our mugs. I specifically gave her a knitting mug from Knit Picks, and this is my mug from a dollar store.
I do have this kind of mug from dollar store, but in blue color.
There was
and
one
I have the pattern all over the.
Oh, that one I wanted to get that mug. I saw it on Instagram on other people, and they said it's a dollar store mug. And I went to my local dollar store. All I could find was this. but I know the one you're talking about. I did not see it here. Yeah. Anyways,
I got mine as a present from my daughter's friend. She knew that I like to knit, and she bought this for me. And
I'm a mug addict, so I'm not allowed to buy mugs anymore.
Oh, I just want to mention them.
Yes.
I tried myself in a different role, so I'm doing some testing, and I made this sweater for Ludmila Axe.
Aksenik or
Aksenik.
Miss Know-It-All,
Yes.
I think, or Miss Know-All or something like that.
Yes.
on Ravelry, and she's got a bunch of patterns that are actually like.
It's not out yet. It went out on her Russian website.
She's gonna add it on.
But
Ravelry,
she's testing
probably,
this sweater on Ravelry, and she's gonna be released soon. So this is a kid size, and she has it from kids to adult, and she's testing currently the cardigan as well. So you can.
I know why she wanted to test this, because it's short rows, and she's a short row addict.
Yeah, it's a swing actually. The
swing technique.
Oh, okay, so it looks so interesting to me, so I couldn't resist, and
I don't know. I think, like, I know it's a different look, but I would just do it as a color work. I know it's a different look though. It looks different.
But you don't need to carry anything. You don't have a double.
I think there's
double yoke.
I think there's two groups of knitters, and I know some of them kind of overlap. Is that there are people who are definitely afraid of color work, and there are people who do not like short rows, as I do not like short rows, and I avoid them as much as I can.
At the person who like both.
Yeah, I know you like both. Yeah, I'm more of I don't understand why people don't like color work. I think color work is the easiest skill to learn.
No,
there's no skills involved aside from keeping your attention.
Yes,
okay?
The
more you do it, you get used to it. It's just like knitting. There's no stitches. It's knitting. It's just a knit stitch with different colors.
I heard lots of complaint. How do you keep the tension that it's not bunched?
Practice.
But they want to have it now. So
no, nothing happens now. There's no such thing as now in life.
Anyway, watch for the release. And the.
Oh, I like that. I will borrow that idea. I like that bind off.
She used everywhere.
Is it not tight on the hips though? I could see it being tight on people's hips.
I don't know. I have a bind off on my other sweater, the I-cord bind off on this linen.
This is looser, and I filmed a video on my YouTube channel and added this sewn in bind off. Yeah, I really like this for sweaters. It's really, really flexible. This is not as I could see it being a problem for like someone like me with bigger hips, or someone. Yeah, I could. Well, I mean, I guess it depends. It depends how you do it.
You can use a bigger needle for the bind.
It doesn't seem like it's constricting, but it doesn't seem the same. Actually, yeah, I might use that idea. What else did I want to talk about? I wanted to talk about we used to buy a lot of yarn, and we're not gonna do the same kind of segment for several reasons. I went through my yarn a year ago, and my garage is exploding, and I think that I used to go to festivals and walk out with like $400 worth of yarn, and it weighed down on me. I felt it may give me anxiety, and I don't usually. I think it goes back to, like, I used to be a shopaholic. I was a recovering shopaholic in my 20s with a big visa bill. So I think that comes from that. I just kind of, and yarn is not something you could wear right away. It's not like clothes. And I just kind of thought, I still bought yarn this year, just not as much, like not nearly as much. I bought, like, for the sweater, I bought yarn for, the hat, and maybe a couple of Madeleine Tosh purchases, but I didn't really do this impulsive thing. like we used to do.
Yeah.
Because I went through my stash and I was like, okay, this is not, it's just not feasible for me to knit this. And anyways, but I do have one yarn to show you, which I actually got for a future project that I'm not going to talk about yet, because it's not going to be just a pattern. It's going to be more than that. And it's from Clinton Hill Cashmere, which is a cashmere vendor in New York. And I got 2 balls, and again, what I like is it comes in balls, so no winding required.
Oh yeah, that's what
We
I
love
like.
that, and nobody does that. We love that. You can just knit right away.
Yeah, if
There's
you have
no-
an idea, you
Yeah,
just grab the
yeah,
ball and you
knit.
start knitting.
Yeah, and this is Italian cashmere that actually Kristy Glass, the hat she made is made from that, and Chelsea Yarns, which is a store in New York, also made their sample using this. And so that's how we connected with Rebecca from Clinton Hill Cashmere, and she sent me this for a special project. So it's absolutely luxurious, as cashmere is. And I think that, like, my hat is made from Cascade 220, which is, you can't really compare Cascade 220 to cashmere because it's like apples and oranges. But this is definitely a luxury option. And we don't really have cashmere vendors in North America anymore, I don't think. I think she might be the only one. I don't know why. I guess maybe there's just less people who want to venture that way.
I never pay attention who has cashmere.
Well, no, I like looking at the trends, and I think in general the trend I'm seeing right now with yarn is slowly going back to solid colors.
I agree.
Very slowly going back.
Especially in Europe, they prefer.
Yeah, this hand-dyed yarn, I have a ton of speckled hand-dyed yarn that I probably will not be able to knit by the time the trend ends. I'm still seeing designers work with it, and I'm still seeing lots of dyers dye it up, but I'm seeing a very gradual move back to something like this, to, you know, so if you guys were selling out stashes, your LRIE and your regular yarn,
Stop doing this.
stop doing that. Keep it. Keep it. Keep it, because it's coming back. It's never really gone away, but I think it's coming back. You have to talk about kids' clothing now.
Oh, just a second. I want to, if we start talking about the more solid yarn, I would show the yarn I recently used. It's called Illimani. And
Emily? Is it Emily?
Yes,
it
it's
is,
Emily. And it's a Canadian yarn maker.
Yes.
From, I think, Ontario.
I think she's Montreal. I don't know though. I just assumed because she sounded French.
I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I'm not sure if it's she or he.
Could be he. I don't know. I actually don't. It doesn't say here. But we're gonna link. We're gonna link to their website and their Instagram. So
I made recently.
That's a beautiful
sweater from this yarn. It's very soft.
And it uses a, how would you call this construction?
Oh.
I've seen it around. I don't know how to call it. It's not really a French shoulder. It's modified French shoulder, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's not.
No,
I would say it's modified contiguous. Cause it's used same technique.
It's just your shoulder is wider. It's a lot
yeah.
wider. Like in contiguous, you usually would have like 2 stitches. This is more like 10 or whatever. But it's the same.
And
yeah.
it's not all knitting in a round, because you at some point you work front and back separately, and then you
really
join. Yes, here it's a separate.
Why?
Because it's the way how you work.
It's just the way. Okay.
Yeah,
I think you sent me this pattern.
I
so I'm
like
take a
this.
look.
I made several pattern using this technique. So you need, like, you can make a yoke even, and then you knit separately, and you pick up your sleeve around the
and then knit
hole.
downwards.
Yes. And I use short rows for this sleeve.
Well, I know why here. Yes.
Because
I'm not opposed to short rows. I'm just not shoving them everywhere I can. That's all.
And I try two different way. I try to knit just a straight, but I heard on one YouTube channel that our hands not like this, but more like this.
Right.
So it's better add some short rows when you start knitting your sleeve. So, and I have a matching head.
I really like these two. I like these two. And this is also Amelita blue, the sky blue, or is it a different yarn?
Yes, it's the same. It's the same.
I really like it.
It's the same yarn. So, guys, if you want,
soft, it's like
it's a more cheaper version of how you call it, Woolfolk.
Oh yeah, well it's a similar, it's a different composition, but it's very similar. It's similar in terms of feel. I have a hat made from Woolfolk, has cotton in it. It's half cotton.
Yeah, this is actually better composition.
Yeah, this is silk,
baby alpaca
and merino. So this is more, I would say this is more of a luxurious composition than Woolfolk. Woolfolk is half wool, half like, their version of wool is ovis, like ovis merino, extra fine, and then cotton, and it feels very similar. And my January hat uses it because at some point Woolfolk, Kristen Ford, she sent me a whole bunch of different skeins that I'm still working through. I wish I had more time, but anyways, I made a pattern from it. So
anyway, use this.
It's very similar, very similar. It's just, I would say that if you're using this half a cotton version from Woolfolk, it's going to be more of a summer hat because it's got half a cotton. This is more of a winter.
With alpaca, no way it's a summer.
No, that's what I'm saying. This is more of a winter.
No, I mean for even if you have a cotton, I have a similar sweater from Ravelry Yarn, and it's like exactly same composition as a Woolfolk. And believe me, it's not a summer.
Merino. It's merino and cotton. I think it's okay for like our June, which is like winter.
With this kind, no. No,
but this is alpaca.
This thickness of the yarn.
Yeah,
no way. You can wear it in a very cold day.
Oh, Cascade has similar yarn too, which I actually destashed last year because, like I said, I went through this stash organization and I had 6 skeins of a bulky yarn. This is a bulky yarn. But my color was off. It was beige color that did not look good on my complexion. It totally washes me out, so I sold it. And I think their version is actually alpaca and merino. Yeah. But it's got the same kind of, I don't know what's it called, the same kind of chain construction. So Cascade has a lot of different yarn lines, and this is definitely something a lot of people miss because they just don't look into their whole range. They have a lot of different yarns, and if you're looking for something that's more accessible in terms of cost and in terms of availability, because it's a problem for us in Canada. Availability is a huge problem because the shipping here is expensive, our duties are expensive, a lot of people don't want to drive over the border and pick up their packages, and it's definitely a concern for someone who...
Not everybody has this ability. It's
exactly.
Me who live close to the border.
We live close to the border. I don't live that close to the border, but what I'm saying is it's a definitely a concern for people who live in Canada, and Cascade's available everywhere, and that's, I think, one of their strengths.
And they have gorgeous colors. They have
nice
gorgeous
colors,
blue, like dark blue. I looked at the other day and I was thinking maybe I should get a couple skeins.
You know, it's been really difficult for me to kind of go back to yarn buying, to be honest, for the reason, well, today I bought some yarn from West Coast Color because I'm actually going to make a shawl with their color this summer for, for winter, like fall, winter. But it's really difficult for me because I kind of fell out of that habit of buying yarn all the time. Like, I used to buy yarn all the time, and I just, it's very difficult for me to go back to that. Every purchase now, I have to justify in my head, you know, like why I'm buying this. So I think that this is what happens when you go a little overboard, you know.
We have
Anyways.
to wrap it up.
Yeah, we have to wrap it up. But do you want to talk about kids?
Next.
Okay,
next
I'm just going to
time.
quickly show you guys my next release because it's not going to be, and I promised on my Instagram. So I bought this yarn a year ago from the Farmer's Daughter's Fibers, which at the time was the only vendor that offered tweed. And this is a soft superwash tweed. This is a sister pattern to my Tweedy Fog. So it has elbow patches, like the Tweedy Fog.
Yes.
So, and then it's a V-neck, and I think I made it a little bit looser. The body is loose, so it's an A-line sweater. And another thing I did is I actually expanded the sizing range to 60 inches. So this is coming out at the end of the month. I also included the Tweedy Fog. I added exercises too, so whoever got Tweedy Fog is going to get, you know, expanded sizing range, because a few people emailed me, and I kind of figured, okay, well, if so many people want it, then I'm going to add it. Yeah, I think that.
Oh, and this is I'm wearing
yes, this is what so you need to talk about
new sweater. It's made from Ritual Dyes yarn, and I need to test this sweater, but I'm still.
You need to get your act together and do it for the fall.
Yeah,
for a fall release.
I think. But yeah, I still have to write the pattern. I kind of make half through the instructions. I recalculate, I grade all the sizes, and I kind of start making charts. But yeah, I'm carried away. So
I'm gonna link to Ritual Dyes as well. I think her colors are really, and I made a pattern from her last year. My Desert Ripple Mystery Knit Along was made from her yarn, and I really like her colors because they're very down to earth, in a sense that they're very kind of earthy and wearable colors. You can tell that this is sort of gray with a little bit of, you know, little bit of speckle, and this is a green that's she doesn't have things that are super bright, but they're very wearable colors. So I'm gonna link to her Instagram as well, I mean to her website as well, and I think she's the knitting backpack. That's her thing too. Yeah.
So if you guys want to test this thing, it's in raglan construction. It's not a yoke.
I don't know why you're taking so long to do this, because
I think I'm just getting lazy.
Yeah, that's definitely we for the past year we've been getting, you know, a little bit lazier, I think. But we need to lump it up.
Okay.
You know, it's my husband's expression, lump up. What does that mean? I don't know, but
okay, we
need to wrap it up. Yeah.
Yes.
So okay, so I'm gonna put this episode, upload it, and you guys feel free to, you know, to comment if you want to see something specific. This is just a relaunch episode that we kind of generally talked about things, and we will be concentrating on sweaters mostly in the future. And if you want to see something specific, do let us know. Yeah, so thanks for joining us today.
Okay, bye.
Bye.